And while they're settling in, Rob, would you mind starting, please?
Hi, everyone. I am, or at least I like your hair. You're welcome. I am Rob, I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. Teresa Bowen will be out tonight. And Chorus is not here now. I'm not sure if he'll make it. He wasn't sure. Oh, and Fernando. Don't know his status either. I have no elephants, and tonight I would like to advance the process.
Hey, good afternoon, I'm Amy and I'm just fine. No time constraints, no elephants, and my expectations are, I agree, advance the process and come closer to resolution.
All right, I just didn't want to.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Kelpie. I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. Missing is noted, no elephants, and I make progress for expectations.
Hi everyone, I'm Ron Irucci, Director of Labor and Employee Relations. I'm doing great. I do have a time constraint this evening. No elephants. I have to leave at 4:30. The expectations tonight is hope we can come to an agreement.
Good evening, I'm Jared McKinney. I am great, no time constraints, missing is noted, no elephants, and expectations, I'll go with advance the process.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jason Kurtz. I am doing fine. No time constraints. Missing's been noted. I don't have any elephants, and my expectation is to make progress.
I'm Cheryl Neely. I'm doing great. I have no time constraints. Missing are noted. I don't have any elephants, except maybe the weather, sorry. Expectations is to do all four of those things. So let's go with advance the process.
Good evening, I'm Candy Messenger, Director of Food and Nutrition. I'm doing well, no time constraints. Missing has been noted, I don't have any elephants, and my expectation is to make progress.
Good evening, I'm Alex Dorzansky, I'm doing great. Time constraints, about 5:45. We've already noted the missing, no elephants, and my expectations are coming close to resolution.
Good evening, my name is Barbara Cedino. I'm the Director for Maintenance Services. I'm doing well, no time constraints. Missing as noticed, no elephants, and the same expectation to advance to the next process. Thank you.
Okay, Lois.
Good afternoon, my name is Lois Dubay. I'm fine. No time constraints. Missing is Christopher Cox. We do have a special guest, but he won't be in for 20 to 30 minutes. Jonathan Tuttle. No elephants, and expectations is to make progress.
Hello, my name is Arlise Williams. I am doing well. No time constraint. Missing has been noted. No elephants, and expectations is to come to an agreement.
Good afternoon, my name is Patrice Coates. I am doing well. My time constraint is 5:30. Missing has been noted. No elephants. Expectation is make progress.
Hi, my name is Laura Rosen. No time constraints. Missing is noted. No elephants. Expectations. I'm close.
Good afternoon, my name is Deborah Evans. I'm well, no time restraint. Missing has been noted, no elephant. Expectations, make progress.
Good afternoon, I'm Victoria Davis. I'm doing great. No time constraint. Missing has been noted. No elephants. My expectation is to make progress.
Thank you.
I'm Amy French, I did well. I don't have any time constraints, and I was here, do not have the elephants. But I don't need something to exceed all of these expectations.
Oh, hi. Okay. Hi, I'm Donna, I'm doing well. I have no time constraints, the missing's been noted, no elephants, and the expectation is that, what Amy said. Gotta stay with my partner here. All right, last time we met, SPALC did a presentation and had option 9 that they presented. Oh, wait, minutes? Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, it's been a few weeks, hasn't it? Minutes. Any changes, Laura?
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
Mike, please. That's okay.
Under the
Yes.
district caucus report, you have reminded 7.1 million, but if you go back to the April 29th minutes, it says 7.2.
Thank you.
Yeah, that evening, both those numbers were being thrown out. So, yes, thank you. Anything else, Laura? Anybody else have anything else? All right, I don't see any hands, so if there are no other corrections or deletions, may I see approval of minutes, please, from 9/9. All right, we are good. All right, so as I was saying, last time we left, SPALC had done a presentation. The district asked for additional time to review it. So I'm going to let the district start off tonight with what? Rob.
So we've used those 2 weeks wisely, and that has been done, and I'll turn this over to Dr. Desmore and Mr. Calfee to proceed.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks. We did, you all provided a lot of information the last time we were here, and we discussed, and I'm just recapping and reiterating, because it's been a couple of weeks here, that I think that we made some pretty significant progress that day, because there were some really key things that we really did have some agreement about, or that we were both on the same page with, which was a really good thing. For one, the evergreen work itself, right? That after all of the information presented and the information that we've shared over these past several months, that there was some acknowledgement or some agreement on the work that Evergreen had presented us, and the fact that in some of the options that we had previously and in the one that was presented that night, that Evergreen work was really taken into consideration and agreed to, that it was incorporated within the options that we had. Number two, the salary schedule itself, at least the minimums and the maximum ranges, right? I know that we had some difference in the structure of the salaried schedule itself, but the meat of it was there in terms of we had agreement on what the ranges were at each of the different pay grades. We had just structured it some differently, so there was just some things that we have to come to agreement with there, but we had significant agreement in terms of that salary schedule itself. And also the pay grade assignments of the individual positions, that those pay grade assignments took into consideration and took into account the work that Evergreen had done. We have presented those in our options. You all presented the same in your option. So there were several areas of very significant areas of agreement, but we needed some time to analyze, what you all have presented that day, and we did. And so we'd like to go through a little bit more information about what we've analyzed and a couple of different options that we have that we think takes into account significant pieces of agreement that we have. So I'm gonna let Kevin go through that information, and then we'll revisit after that.
So hopefully, I reviewed this as well as Dr. Desmore has set me up to. So one of the things I'm going to try to do is go over the option that you presented last time and see if there's anything I misunderstood so that we can clear that up so moving forward. So reviewing the option from SPALC is moving everyone to a grade step with the information that was presented by the Evergreen step. Depending on the years of experience, they would receive a certain percentage, then they would move to the closest step in their grade. Employers higher than the new salary schedule would be on a separate pay scale, and this would be retro back to the beginning of the contract for the employee. Kind of in a nutshell, some bullet points. Here are the different percentages that were listed in the option. And here is the grade step table from grade S01 to S015, with the steps being A through P. And this cost a little over $10 million. So in a nutshell, I think I captured that information. So I do have an option. It is very similar to that option. It is using the structure, but we decrease the percentages to fit within the bargaining authority. After the percentage increase, employees are moved to the next closest step. For employees that are over the salary schedule, they would receive a 5% bonus and stay at their current salary. And this would be retro back to the contract year for the employee. And here are the differences in those percentages. At the end, I'll have kind of a comparison, but if you do want to take it down now, that's fine. And this is a little over $7.2 million. And that would be option 10. Go ahead, Arlise.
Can you go back, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is that the one you need?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, Kevin, go ahead.
Do you have any questions or anything I can elaborate on this option? All right. So moving forward, option 11. Option 11 is using SPALC's options with the same percentages, move to the next closest step. For employees that are over the salary schedule, they would receive a 5% bonus and stay at their current salary, and then making this option effective on 11/16 with a payout option of 12/15 and no retro. So this would be almost your option to a T that you presented. Yes, ma'am.
Arlise?
Kevin, can you go back? So, can you talk more about bullet 3?
Bullet 3 is for employees, I believe, Mr. Tuttle, is that? He was recommending that they would be on a separate salary schedule. They would still remain on SPALC salary schedule, but since they're topped out, they would receive a one-time bonus instead of an adjustment to their salary.
Okay.
Any other questions, Arlise?
Yeah, actually, Kevin, if you don't mind, please, can you go all the way back to your first option? Because you said something and I didn't quite understand it.
Okay, please forgive me as I.
No, you're good.
So this is
That was
your option.
Sal's option.
And then option 10.
Let me see. No, that was the last one, right? That was the one you just showed us?
No, he showed 11.
Okay.
This is
okay.
10.
Actually, it was in the first, I think it was on the first page, Kevin, I'm sorry. I think it was actually on the first page. I didn't realize we was gonna go that fast, and I apologize. So the first page of the presentation. Okay.
That's it.
Go 1 to 7, right there, okay. So Kevin, can you, explain that again, please?
So this is SPALC option where moving everyone to a grade step with the information that was presented by the Evergreen study. This is the min and the max.
Okay.
But instead of a range, the option that you gave us was steps.
Right.
So we would place employees on steps.
Okay.
And then depending on the years of experience, they would receive that percentage increase first. And then pertaining to the grade that they are under, they would be rounded up to the next closest step. So what I was trying to do in this first option is review the option that was presented by Mr. Tuttle to see if we were on the same page.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else, Arlene?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Sorry for skipping ahead.
That's all right.
So this is option 11. It would be almost verbatim the option that SPALC introduced, but it would be effective 11/16 forward with a payout option of 12/15 and no retro back to the beginning of the school year. And this would cost a little over $7.2 million. So here is a comparison of the different options. Option 9 and option 11 look very similar, but option 9 was a little bit over our bargaining authority. So option 11 is within the bargaining authority moving forward.
Questions now that you see them side by side?
So so just wanted to kind of, and thank you, Kevin, for going through all of that. And I wanted to thank him again as well for doing the, bunch of work to run the numbers inside of, each of these scenarios, because it was quite a little bit of work. So thank you for that. I just want to speak to the options and in terms of the interest as well, right? Because when we had our last meeting and you all presented the option that you had for there were a couple of things that were significant differences with what we had. So one of them was the salary schedule itself, right? We gave what was the open range option, right? That each pay grade had a minimum and a maximum range, but there was just a range in the middle, and people could kind of go free inside of that range. You all came back with your option with really a step schedule. You took those same ranges, but wanted to create steps inside of those. And one of the things that we heard at that meeting last time was that part was very important to your option. And you wanted to make sure that that was incorporated inside of the option. And each of the options that you see here, the 10 and the 11, that the step schedule is taken into account and is inside of the option. So we heard how important that was, that you wanted that put into the option, and so we put it into the option. So that was one of the places where we weren't in alignment or we weren't in agreement the last time we met. Either one of these options, we're now in alignment with that. We're on the same page in terms of whatever salary schedule we have is going to be a step and a grade in the step schedule as was presented. So that's each of those. In addition, we weren't necessarily on the same page with the different percentages. We had broken down several different things, and as you can see, we're at option 11, so we've been doing a lot of work with all of these different options, and there were different percentages that were broken down for various reasons, and the different year breaks were different for various reasons. Each of these options that you see, 10 and 11, the break in years, or that is the different ranges of the years and the percentages that are applied to each range, we took in those options what you wanted or what you said you wanted in the option that you presented on the 9th for those ranges, because those were the ones that you said that you wanted. So we now have agreement on those ranges as well. Now, of course, the percentages are different in option 10, and there's a difference there. But in option 11, the percentages are exactly the same. So option 11 takes really almost the exact option that you presented on the 9th, with a couple of small differences. Number one, Arlise was just asking about this one in terms of these people that were beyond the range, beyond the maximum range of the salary schedule. We believe in your option, you treated them a little bit differently. In our option, we're saying, well, everybody kind of stays on, we're building a step in a grade schedule, so people need to stay on it, but they could still get a benefit by receiving a bonus that's equivalent to the percentage increase for that portion of the year that we're talking about. And also, we needed the option to fit into the guidelines that we had, and by being able to say, okay, well then, we'll make this effective on November 16th, we were able to incorporate almost every single piece of the option that you presented on the 9th. So what option 11 is, really is SPALC's option with those tweaks that we just talked about, which really we believed got us to a point where we had significant common ground about everything to this point that we had discussed. And that really spoke to the interest that we all said that we had. First of all, we wanted to make sure that we addressed in some way the compression in the schedule. We tried to do that in various different ways in the options, but you all came back with what you felt was the most important way, or how you wanted to address in some way the compression for this year in this particular option, knowing that we have still work to do along the way. So I'm not saying that all of a sudden now compression has magically disappeared, but certainly we're making progress in the options that we have. So you expressed how you wanted that compression to be addressed, and we did so, and in option 11. So that was one of the major interests that we discussed. We also talked about that we wanted recruitment and retention, that we wanted to try to forward those things. With the option that you all have presented, I think that you felt that there were some very important aspects in there that would help in that regard. Number one, the step schedule itself you thought was important for retention. Number two, the way that the percentages laid out you thought was important to retention. And so we preserved those things in the option 11, thinking that we're working together to get on common ground and preserve that particular interest. And the next one, I think it says fairness to employees. Is that what that says right there? The last one up there, right? Fairness for employees. And as I recall it, when we were having that discussion about what that interest meant, that it was about having a salary schedule that we felt that was transparent to people, that we felt people understood, and that kind of laid out the way that people intuitively thought it should lay out. And that was around the step schedule for, or at least as we had discussed it at that time. So again, maintaining that in the option, and we believe that after all this work that we've done and kind of all the conversation that we've had, we've gotten to the point where we have an option, right, that is almost completely similar to each other, that really meets all of the interests and all of the guidelines that each of the parties have. And so in that respect, I'm kind of really talking about option 11. and just advocating that in terms of the interest and talking about that. So that being said, we'll stop just a minute for any questions or next steps or any other comments that anybody has.
Any questions? Arlise?
Can I get the total again on option 11? Did you guys have the total on that?
It's 7.2 million.
And is that including fringe?
It is.
So, okay, so if we have the same percentages, and if we are giving the employees the next step on the pay schedule, how did your numbers come to 7.2 and our numbers came to 10.3? So I'm confused somewhere.
Well, the difference is the effective date of the change. So you see under option 11, it starts at 11/16. So assuming that everything happens at that point in time, right, ratification, all that kind of stuff, then the change goes into effect under option 11 on 11/16. That is the difference. V July 1st, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Questions? Yep.
Sorry, I was gonna say one more thing. I didn't want to cut off a question, no.
No, nobody had their hand up.
Okay, so one of the things I didn't point out about really why as a team, as a district team, and why, we're a little passionate about option 11, which corresponds to the percentages that you, SPALC, brought to the table at our last meeting, is because it really is, when you compare the two options, that is 10 and 11, more advantageous to the employee, right? The agreement takes place or picks up starting 11/16, but what you have is a higher percentage that every employee can take forward with them the next year, the next year, the next year. So the hourly rate is a better hourly rate when you go increasing 6.5 or 7.5 or 9 as opposed to a 4, 5, and a 6, right? So because in the comparison of the two things, it really was more advantageous to the employees mid and long-term look to be able to take those percentages. That was another reason why, as we kind of looked at different things, analyzed the different options, it was like, we can come to, some pretty good common ground with that option 11. And I think Kevin did have a little bit more information to present if we don't have any other questions at this time. Yeah, we can go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Great, she left it on for me. So I just wanted to go over, so I tried to do different comparisons and kind of ran out of time. But this comparison is different positions throughout the district at 14 years. So the first one is a custodian with 14 years of experience, the bus operator, the bookkeeper, and instructional support. And trying to show how much annually it would be different. For the custodian at 14 years, for SPALC's option, it would be approximately $2,700. For option 10, with the reduced percentages, it would have been around $1,600. Option 11, it would be around $21. So since that amount was not retro back to the beginning of the contract, that's the difference in pay. And then I went over to the bus operator. Depending on where you are, option 9 and option 10 and option 11 are basically the same thing. If you align correctly, but that's not for everyone, but at a certain threshold, it starts to go up past it. The bookkeeper at 14 years starts at $1,845. It'll end up at $1,969. and option 9 would be 2,100. Option 10 would be 2,100, and option 11 would be 1,700 annually, the difference in pay. And this current ongoing would be larger, but this current year. And I put how many days per year these employees worked and how many hours per day to show where my numbers came from. And then the instructional support at 14 years, that's making $17.01. They would have a 9.2% increase for option 9, and it would be around 2,000. Option 10, it would be around 1,300, and option 11, it would be around 1,600 annually. And what I also tried to do here is where they would end up on the step. So if you looked at the custodian from option 9 to option 11, it went from step C to step B, back to step C. For the bus operator, it went to step B, step B, step B. That's the same for the bookkeeper with C, C, C. But for the instructional support, it went from C, B, C. So depending on the percentages in the closest step would also have an impact on which step you would ultimately end up at.
Questions? No? I know it's a lot. Okay, anything else, Kevin or Amy?
No, just wanted to make sure that we had done that, kind of comparison, because every option we have, remember we were comparing all of the different positions and just some scenarios inside of each of them. You all did the same the last time, so we just wanted to, compare those three. But right. So we're just await any questions, or we can start, again, talking about interest compared to some of the options.
Okay. Questions? Go ahead, Arlene.
Kevin, can you email that to me right quick? Okay, so we can go over it. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Concerns? Lois?
We'd like to caucus.
Okay. Ballpark figure for time? 30?
30.
Okay. You guys want to caucus? Okay. Yeah, what's what, 30? Okay. All right. See you in 30. Yeah. We need you to check in, now that you've joined us.
Good afternoon. My name is Fernando Vasquez. I'm doing great. I have no time constraints. There's no elephant's room, and my expectation is to make progress.
And Mr. Tuttle? Yes, you do. Is that why you were late? Because you didn't want to do this?
Not a fan of elephants. Jonathan Tuttle, I'm doing great, no time constraints, I don't know who's missing, there are no elephants, expectation, let's settle this.
Oh, okay.
It is.
I'm sure they caught you up on everything. All right, caucus report, Lois?
Yeah, so we took into consideration the proposals that you had listed, option 10 and 11. We do have a question though, so SPALC at the last session asked you all to go back for more board authority, and we were wondering if that had been done.
No, that hasn't been done. I'll let Amy respond to that.
Amy has a different answer. All right, go ahead, Amy.
Amy's gonna address it.
Yes, sorry for the confusion. Yes, it was done where the board members were asked about the additional board authority, and at this time, no additional board authority is going to be given over what we have right now.
So let me just clarify. I answered you because we did not have an executive session, if that's what you were asking.
Any more to the report?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about your option 11.
Okay.
While it did mimic what SPALC wanted to begin with, the fact that folks wouldn't be getting retro was a huge problem for us. And that wouldn't pay out until, well, it would be effective 11/16 and not paid out to 12/15. So we just felt that was kind of a slap in the face to the employees, that we have all that interest, but we're gonna hold them to it to 11/16. So we felt that was really unfair.
Okay, anything else to your report?
And also, I would like for everyone to keep in mind, we did agree to retro. Plus hours worked, or including all hours worked for April 25th, 2024. So, yeah, we agreed to that early on. And if I'm not mistaken, Rob said, quote unquote, because we know we're not gonna be finished by July 1st. And I even asked for that to be repeated again, right? Because I wanted to make sure I heard it correctly. So yeah, we agreed upon retro.
Okay, district report?
So we discussed the options and discussed the desire to test one of the options so as to move this bargaining session along.
Okay. Let me get that down. Yeah. Go ahead, you're almost done.
Yeah, so Arlise is right. We did talk about retroactivity, not realizing that there would be a ask for additional bargaining authority. at that time. Also, we, well, I'll hold off.
Okay, all right. All right, Arlene, I see your hand going up.
Yeah, we asked for additional parking authority, but we did not get it. So I'm kind of confused on, we asked for it, we didn't get it, and we agreed upon retro for the 7.2 million, which you said your option comes to 7.2 anyway.
So we brought an option today, that's number 10, that includes retroactivity. And I heard Lois talk about 11, I didn't hear any reaction to 10.
Well, 10 had lower percentages for the employees for their years of service. So that was something that we didn't want to entertain.
Okay. So, yeah, Amy.
So of the two different options, I know when you were given your caucus report, one of the things that you said was, having the, employees wait until November 16. But based on everything that would have to happen between a time an agreement would be made here at this table to an agreement being ratified, to an agreement going to the board to be approved, to an agreement being placed in the system, it puts us on that time frame. So I just wanted to just kind of walking through that timeline. There is a natural progression of things that happen before we get there. In retroactivity, then that also assumes that certain conditions are being met, including fitting into the guidelines that we have, which really is the bargaining authority. In the option that we had, or option 9, as was presented on Kevin's presentation, or that is the option that we discussed or that you all brought last time, does not fit into the bargaining authority, but we have an option that does fit into the bargaining authority that takes, all of the elements that you had in your option, which is, why we believe it is a very good option. And you're right, it's been more beneficial for the employee because of the larger percentages.
Go ahead.
It has our percentages, does not have all, because it does not have the retro in there. So that's not all.
Okay, so I heard from the district that they wanted to test an option. So, what option did you want to test?
11.
Okay. We have a request to test option 11. Does anybody need any more to hear about option 11, or can we go ahead and test it? Remember to look at your interest as well, that I asked you to look at before even we came in here tonight. So I need to see thumbs according to the process on option 11. Arlene?
We have something.
Okay.
So if we have an option 12, if we put that up first before we test this?
I would leave it up to them. Do you want to see what option 12 is, or do you want to go ahead and test option 11? They have another option. You hear option 12? Okay.
I'm going to pass it off to Jonathan.
Okay, great, thanks. I can talk about it. I have it on a jump drive. I can just show you one screen. There he is.
There's Kevin's here. He'll take care of you.
This might just make it a little bit easier. It's very or I can move forward. My mouse. It's on your computer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. Well, it's done.
All right, thank you, sorry about that little delay. So at the end of the last meeting, I think it was the last meeting a couple weeks ago, we were talking about flexibility and hopefully going back to the board, getting some authority, a little bit of movement on both sides. Like creativity on a couple of the options that I saw very briefly. Obviously, retro is not really an option for us. I think Arlie's made that pretty clear. But what we try to do is show a little flexibility and reduce our proposal by 0.5% for each of these groups. So you see the 20 plus years, our original proposal, and again, just to refresh people, what we did in our originals, we took 9% and added to every wage for every employee had 20 or more years. So your hourly rate gets multiplied by 9%, and then it gets rounded up onto the new salary schedule. And we did that for each of these groups. That came to about $3 million. And I think that took some folks by surprise, thought it was a little too much, so we tweaked it. And what we did was reduce each of these by 0.5%. In doing so, should I shrink that? No, you can see this. You probably can't see any of that now. In doing so, we came up with a cost, and I believe Amy said the cost was 22%, not the 21% that we had before. Apologize for that. But we came up with a total cost of $8.9 million by reducing it by 0.5%. So that saved from our original proposal about $1.2 million that we proposed 2 weeks ago, which I thought was a pretty good move. And now, in order to complete this, we're looking for $1.7 million. And somebody's got to talk to the school board about getting a little more bargaining authority for these 4,000 plus employees. So that's it, very simply. We took our original proposal, reduced it by 0.5% per group, and brought down the cost by over $1 million.
Okay.
And not retro, also. That's it.
All right.
Any questions?
Thank you, Jonathan. Questions?
You said not retro?
Oh, with retro. Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. No wonder I heard all that grumbling. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. You're going to chunk it out of this.
With retro. It's with retro. With retro. Okay. Any questions?
Just reduced each one by here. You want to see?
By 0.5%. All right, any questions, comments on option 12? Amy?
Yeah, one question, food for thought. So I saw what you did there, so if we could get a copy of that on your flash, that would be helpful. But then also, I guess I'd like to know, so what is the, part of the cost is generated
by the step itself, going to the next nearest step, and that's part of the cost is generated by. You have steps A through P. What would be the thought process or the appetite maybe to create about 5 more in there, right? Because that's 15, I think, to 20, that made the round component of that, right? The rounding part of that kind of eliminates some cost as well. And maybe we get closer to the goal. And I said, maybe, I don't know, I don't know the math, I don't know how it would necessarily work out, but I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking that maybe if we take what you just did and maybe do something along there, we might be able to have another option that we could consider.
And so when you say goal, what goal is that? The 7.2 million? Is that the goal you're talking about?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Like the caucus for 2 minutes?
2 minutes? Sure. report for a quick caucus.
Yeah, we discussed what Amy and Jonathan have been talking about with the extension of the steps, and that's just something we don't have an appetite for. We also believe that the last proposal we gave is something we really want the district to consider. And we don't know if you need to caucus about that, or if you have any questions about it or want to talk about it.
Rob?
Unless, I don't know if anybody on our team has any questions about their last option. We still requested a test, so
Yes.
just don't want the moderator to forget that. Like a copy of that last proposal.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. All right, if there are no questions or clarifications on anything, we've had a request to test option 11. So may I see thumbs for 11, please? I don't think we have to go over it again. I think everybody knows what it is. I need to see thumbs, up, sideways, or down. Okay, and as part of the process, if your thumbs are down, we need an explanation as to why your thumb is down and if there's anything that can be done to move your thumb sideways or up. Lois?
I think I made it clear earlier that I believe that our folks deserve retro, that they deserve a living wage, and that what we're asking for is a win-win for everybody.
Thank you. Might as well listen to everybody's reason first.
Actually, we're being reasonable. We know that the district can afford it, okay? The district, I think ever since 2017, has over budget $50 million every single year. So we know the money is there. If we ask a question, well, let me just say this, the question was asked, did our request, did they actually do our request by going back to ask the board for bargaining authority? And the chief negotiator said no, the chief finance officer said yes. I mean, to me, your chief negotiator and the next person in charge of all your whole team should know what has happened, right? So we're supposed to be transparent. And everybody's supposed to be, telling the truth what's going on, and it's just very difficult when you sit here in the school district bargaining team don't know if they went to the board to ask them for more bargaining authority. We agreed to, again, back in April 25th, to pay retro, and retro plus, retro basically with hours worked, okay? And now that's that's not an option on the option 11 that basically both sides could deal with, but we just want our people to have, retro. I can't sit here as a leader with a clear conscience and continue to let the district take away from our people what they cannot afford.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
do it.
I'm sorry.
The Norm Shepherd said, we're all here for good intentions.
Okay. Well, I understand that. I'm just, saying how it is. When we have seen, because of our public request, one individual person in the district, in this building, receive a raise for $48,500. And to look at our numbers and say that we can't even make a dollar or $2 increase work for you, I mean, look at them. These are the people that we represent. These are the people that struggle. These are the people that cannot pay their bills. These are the people that sell their plasma right? And fall out, it just pass out because they have so much plasma to get to work, to feed their children, to pay a light bill, to go to the doctor. These are the people that we represent. And for the district not to give us what we need, and then we even went down on our proposal. Even though we did not want to, because we know we had to explain all of that, we went down. And the district is still stuck on 7.2. But you can give one individual a $50,000 raise. And for the support staff, that means it will be 2 full-time support staff and a part-time. You can hire 3 people. 3 people for $50,000.
All right, Laura, the mic's coming to you.
For option 11, because I have it in the minutes that the chief negotiator said that it would be agreed upon for retro, I can't take option 11. You know, everybody in this district works hard, and the people need it.
Okay, thank you. Deborah?
I disagree with option 11 because if you look at it, option 9 is the same thing as option 11. Why can't the retro be added?
Okay, Victoria, last but not least.
It's the same. Why, where's the retro? The retro was promised, so why not?
Okay, thank you. All right, heard all the reasons. Rob, do you have anything that might sway somebody?
Well, I'd like to think so, but I don't think so. I think everything that's said gets picked apart. I apologize for saying no to the question earlier. I thought you meant if we have an executive session. I'm not privy to certain things the CFO is at times. I apologize for that. It's clear that we would have had an executive session if board members were keen or wanted to, and that did not occur. So I hopefully nobody else misspeaks, but I apologize for that. So retro at this point would be about 5 paychecks worth of retro, which I'm not sure of the dollar amount of that, but it's not in the hundreds, or it's not in the thousands and thousands of dollars for most employees at this point. And we did talk about providing retro on any agreement that we had. We did not vote on that. I want folks to be aware of that. I did tell you that, and I do stand by that, because that's what the superintendent said, that we would pay retro this year. However, it also assumed the bargaining authority was $7.2 million. And I will remind everyone that we started bargaining a while ago. And we saw SPALC's first proposal 2 weeks ago. So we are where we are because of both parties. However, we got here today to a new amount because SPALC came forward only 2 weeks ago with a new amount. We believe we harmonized your option and our option to get to a great place, which is option 11. And if you want retro, join us in testing option 10. And then there will be retro. Because what's at work here is a percentage or a significant spread in the salary schedule or retro. That's kind of what you're pitting against each other in voting down 11, where there wouldn't be retro, but you would handle potentially better the compression. So we're at that point, competing interests. And I just hope that if we have to, people can go home, think about it, think about what we've talked about, and all the work that went into and I'll thank Kevin again, that went into essentially trying to plug your numbers into what we were doing here today. It's a lot of work. And I think we're at a place where we can help employees before Christmas significantly, and we should do that.
Thank you. Laura?
Well, we've all been working on this since last April, and that is true. But we were waiting on Evergreen too, to come out with everything. So to go, I mean, we have 4,300 people here that, you know, we're gonna agree on something, and we weren't ready to jump into something until we could see more information from Evergreen. And that was pretty much July.
Okay. Arlene?
Okay. And not only that, it is not SPALC's fault because we are not done with bargaining yet. Everything that we have requested, and some stuff not through actually a bargaining session is done. Some stuff Lois emailed different departments at the district for information that we needed to get ready for bargaining. And we did not get any of our information in a timely manner. And matter of fact, we have been waiting on the last piece of information. Hold on a minute. The last piece of information that we requested for bargaining, we've been waiting on it a week, and Lois received it last night after 6 o'clock. And like Laura said, we have been waiting on the Evergreen study, right? I am never gonna make a decision for other people's lives unless I understand the information fully, right? So it was important to me to go to the Evergreen study presentation when I asked in the beginning, before anybody gave a presentation at the district on this study, my request was 3 times for Evergreen study to come in and give the presentation to the bargaining team. And I was told they're busy, we don't know if we're gonna be able to get them, we'll see, Amy will do the presentation. If you paid someone the amount of money that the district paid Evergreen to do a study, I would think that would have been part of your contract. For them to come in and give all of us a presentation. And I know I said the reason why I asked for Evergreen to come in and give the presentation, because I know all of those people over there would have received the information back. And what I mean by that is they would have, just received it back. So it wasn't our fault. And then when we finally got the information that we requested, we put together our presentation. So actually, in reality, we put in our presentation before the district put in theirs, because y'all just put in y'all's today, because the other information was from Evergreen. I just want everybody in the room to understand and know that we are not the ones that held up bargaining. We did not get our information in time. It was a huge delay.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna respond to that. I just want to get on the record what's gone on here for the last 2 years. Last year, 8% across the board. We, the district, wanted to use some of that money to go towards helping compression. We didn't do that. We agreed otherwise. This year, on the table, 5% for SPALC employees. That's 13% in less than 2 years. That is currently, if they were to agree, that's what the employees would realize. I suggest in just about every industry in America, that's more than most have realized in less than 24 months.
All right, anything else? I heard something about,
10.
okay, 10. What, the district would like to test 10.
Jason, can you
Yeah.
clarify something for me?
Yes, sir.
If I put my finger down,
So just to clarify,
Yeah.
if I have my finger down, I need to be able to say what needs to change on the option in order to be able to live with it or get my thumb up.
Right.
Correct. So the
Correct.
pieces that need to change.
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe some of the people did that in there.
That was about a lot of the retro that I think we heard.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Just making sure.
Yep. Okay. So option 10, which was, let's see.
retro.
Has retro in it, but it would still, the percentages would go down, so they would still be within the 7.2 million, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm. So I have a request to test that option. Does anybody need any more clarification on that option? That one does include retro. Harley?
It includes retro, but can you go over those percentages again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Amy did write them down.
I will try to follow, I apologize here. So it's 0 years, 0%. 1 to 4, 2%. 5 to 9, 3%. 10 to 14, 4%. 15 to 19, 5%. And 20 plus, 6%.
Okay. Okay. So that's option 10. Anybody else need anything else on option 10? Yes, Laura.
Wasn't there also a bonus on that one?
Yeah, bonus of 5,000 to
I think it's 38 employees that Jonathan singled out that would have been off the salary schedule.
That was on option 10 too, as well as 11?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other?
So that was 20 plus years they would get.
Was it 20, or just for the people that is?
It was the people that were off.
Yeah, the people, just the people that were off the regular schedule would get that $5,000 bonus.
Not 5,000.
5%, sorry. Amy said it. Literally. So that's only 38 people, Laura, okay? Jonathan had mentioned that in his proposal the last time, to keep that clump of people a little to the side for now. They're special. All right, any other clarifications needed on 10? All right, I don't see anything, so may we see thumbs for option 10? All right, same process. Option 10, Lois? Laura, do you have, thank you. That's okay.
We can't. Personally, I can't say those are the percentages that our folks deserve.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that, Lois? The percentages? Okay.
Marlise?
I do not agree, because I don't believe that this is the best deal the district can give their employees.
Okay.
Anna, we know they don't agree. We need to know what can get them to agree. That's how it's supposed to work, I think.
Right.
Well, the percentages would have to go up.
Okay, that's all we need.
I honestly don't believe it would help the employees.
All right, and how could we make it help the employees?
and taking up the percentage.
Okay, thank you. Victoria,
It's the same, it's the percentages, not enough.
okay. You wanna go back to our lease? No, Lois was pretty clear, it was percentages.
Okay, so for me to make it work, 11 work for us. Long as we, those percentages and give our people retro hours.
Oh, we got that from 11.
Okay.
That was clear from 11. It was the retro
Oh,
that would have to come in.
So option
So option 10
is retro.
okay, I'm
does
sorry.
include retro.
So it includes retro, so make the percentages, reflect option 11. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else? Rob?
Yeah, nothing else really, other than not willing to give up. I think we need to continue to grind away. I don't know, there's smart people in here. I don't know where we could go potentially, but I'm all about trying to choose another date, frankly.
Okay.
And it could be sooner rather than later. I don't think Amy sent me a text about this room. So this room's not available again until Friday, unfortunately, so, but we have this room for next Monday, if we need it.
Will next Monday work for people? I don't think we have anything complicated that we have to digest and process for options. The one Jonathan presented tonight, option 12, was pretty straightforward, just cutting everything by 0.5%. Which would be a little over $1 million more additional funding. So Monday would be the 30th. That's okay. Does that work for you guys? The 30th?
That's next Monday, right?
Yep.
Oh,
No?
for me it does not. I am so sorry.
Oops, hold on. 30th might not work.
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
I mean, this could all change with the weather.
that's
I'm not
true.
gonna be out of town.
Because I know some of the things we need to get back to some of our.
Tuesday works for me.
Okay.
Tuesday the 1st?
Yep.
How about
Teach.
Second works for me.
Would the 2nd work?
Look at this also.
October 2nd?
The 2nd works.
Is this room available October 2nd?
We're looking
Amy
for
and
October
Amy?
2nd.
They're checking.
Construction advisory.
It's training room D.
Oh, yeah, we got this room. Yeah.
Yes, Tuesday, or Wednesday the 2nd?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that okay with SPALC?
Yes, we have a labor management, so since Ron is here. Ron, can you?
Ron left.
Ron left early.
He had to leave at 4:30 today,
So,
so.
yeah, that'd be fine, we'll reach out to him and try to get him in an hour earlier.
Okay.
So we can meet with our team. So October
Second.
October 2nd, 4 o'clock here. Will be the next meeting. So I know we have 12 options and probably most of these options aren't even in your minds anymore. So I would say we probably need to concentrate on options 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well-
And any other option you can come up with?
Yeah, if
Rob?
SPALC's willing to come up with an option 13 that meets the bargaining authority, that would be great.
Yep.
If we can get an increased bargaining authority, that would be great.
Okay. And Please review everything that was presented tonight. It was a lot. I think most people have the gist of most of it, but it would be helpful to review it along with the interest. Any closing words? Laura?
So when is the next, I guess, meeting with the board?
School board meeting?
Well, when did they, like, when you request, do you request it?
We don't meet with them regularly.
They have to request a special executive board session.
That's what the superintendent was asking.
Okay. Anything else? All right, then I guess we are finished for this evening. Thank you very much, and Kevin, thanks again for all that work. And thank you, Jonathan, for all your work.
My pleasure.